Hello everyone and welcome to my predictions for this upcoming Premier League season. No doubt I'm going to be terribly wrong, but you can let me know what you think in the comments once I get cracking. And stick around till the end of the video because there's something I need your help on. Anyways, let's get straight into it. I'm going to start off with the relegated teams, and the first team that I think is going to get relegated is Bournemouth. They have just been promoted. Scott Parker has done a good job, but if you're relying on Dominic Solanke to get you the Premier League goals you need, you're going to be in for a bad time. They've only brought in one centre-back as well. I can't see where Bournemouth are going to get their goals from. So for me, Bournemouth, they're going straight back down. And joining them is fellow promoted team Nottingham Forest. I can't see Forest really doing much this year. Of course, they've spent big. They've spent a lot of money on a lot of players. And if they don't merge well, I fear they're going to be left behind way before they even get going. And with that, Dean Henderson is going to be in for a busy old season. Finishing off the bottom three, I'm actually going to go for Leeds United. I can't imagine they're going to have much success this year. Of course, they've sold Calvin Phillips, they've sold Rafinha, and Patrick Bamford, he's not going to get you enough goals on his own, is he? Let's be honest here. They haven't recruited that well so far, and they've lost their two best players. They didn't perform too well last year either, and I feel it's just going to be a steady decline for Leeds this year. Jesse March, he's done alright, but he doesn't exactly get you going, does he, if we're honest? And I feel as though Leeds, they're going to take up that 18th spot and be the final team relegated. Although I do think it will go to the final day of the season. That is because in 17th place, I've went for Southampton. I think they will survive just by the skin of their teeth. Of course, they have James Ward-Prowse, who's going to bang in a few free kicks here and there, and it's not going to win them enough points on its own, but I think he will secure enough draws, and I think Southampton have enough just to survive. In 16th place, I've went for Fulham. Now, Fulham, newly promoted, they took the championship by storm, and Alexander Mitrovic, he scored over 40 goals last year. And he is the reason that I think Fulham will stay up. They haven't recruited too well, but with Mitrovic and with the style of play that they were playing with last year, you don't just forget that. They played some phenomenal football. They scored many goals. Yes, they're going to be playing against harder opposition this year, but I think they'll have enough. 16th place for Fulham. Ahead of Fulham, I'm going for Everton. And I think I'm not alone in predicting Everton to have a bad season here, but if we take into their transfers into account, they brought in Tarkowski, they brought in McNeil, but they lost their talisman. They lost Richarlison. And Dwight McNeil is as much talent and potentially has at 22 years old. Last season, he only contributed to one goal all year. And even then, that was an assist. He didn't even score it. So Everton, I fear it's going to be a bad year for you. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has not shown the ability to lead the line on his own just yet. But of course, time will tell on that one. But for me, Everton, I can't see them doing anything that well this year. Up next in 14th is Brighton. Well, at least that's where I think they're going to be. This is, of course, a disappointment from last year because Brighton finished top 10 and rather comfortably getting over 50 points. But again, they have not recruited well. And if you don't recruit well in the Premier League, you get left behind. Add in the fact that they are looking likely to lose their most creative player in Cucurella, I can't see where their goals are going to come from. Of course, they play beautiful football. Graham Potter knows what he's doing tactically and formation-wise. They play incredibly well, but just not well enough to get back in the top 10 in my opinion. Moving into mid-table then, in 13th place, I'm going for Brentford. They play beautiful football, very expansive, very open, very fluid, and they use those wide centre-backs incredibly well. Ivan Toney was a star last year. He scored plenty of goals, and I think he'll do exactly the same this year. However, Brentford are a team who are building to be a Premiership stable side. And right now, they are not at the top 10 level, but they're not relegation fodder either. So I think Brentford will be very happy with mid-table. 13th place, it's a good place for them to be. In 12th, I've went for Wolverhampton Wanderers. And it's a strange one, because Wolves are one of these teams who are either incredible or are very dull. And well, this season, I don't really know what to think of them. They haven't recruited that well. They've brought in another centre-back. They haven't really strengthened going forwards. So I'm not sure where Wolves are. I think they're in a bit of a transitional stage. They're a little bit more established in the Premier League, and I think they're going to be looking at pushing forwards maybe next season. I think this year is just a consolidation season. Stay in the Premier League, get mid-table, just to be able to attract those better players. But right now, Wolves, I think they'll be happy with 12th. In 11th place, I'm going to go for Crystal Palace. The reason being is Patrick Vieira had Palace playing some beautiful football last season. They played really good attacking football. They were a lot more defensively solid. And of course, they had Conor Gallagher, who bossed midfields across the Premier League. But he's gone now. But I'm sure Big Patrick has a plan in place. They've recruited fairly well. No superstar signings, but everyone they have brought in looks like they're going to be having a part to play. Of course, they have Elise on the wing there. They have Zaha, who needs to have a big season. It could be his last year in London. It might be time for him to finally show his worth, trying to get over 15 goals, maybe even 20 goals, who knows. But Palace, I think they're a team on the up. In 11th place, I think they'll be very happy with that. The first team in the top 10 is Aston Villa. Now, Gerrard did not fill me with confidence last year. In fact, it was the opposite. I thought Villa were pretty terrible once Gerrard took over. However, he has a full pre-season with them now, and he's going to instill some hard work and determination into that squad. Add in Coutinho's magic, sprinkling here and there, and a genius move was making John McGinn captain, a true grafter, a workhorse, and a man who can lead from the front. And with that, I think Villa's fortunes are about to change. So Villa, top 10 this year. In 9th place, I've went for Leicester City. I believe this year is the final year before Leicester crumble. I think this year, on paper, they have a good squad. They've got Tielemans, they've got Vardy, they've got Maddison. And at the moment, it looks like they're all staying. However, that can change. Tielemans has a history of not being able to finish 90 minutes. Maddison is rumoured to be going to Newcastle, and Vardy, well, he's older than me. He's 33, 34 years old now? I can't imagine he's going to last that much longer being the leading man for a team who has no real backup for him. Of course, they have Fofana at the back, who's a young guy coming through. He's very good, but again, he's rumoured to leave as well. I think this year, if Leicester can get top 10, finish in 9th place, I think they will rip your hand off if you offer them that right now. Brendan Rodgers has a big job ahead of him in rebuilding the squad, and from the looks of their transfers, it doesn't look like much money's coming in. And with that, Kasper Schmeichel's also rumoured to leave. Club captain, club legend, and once your big guy goes, it's very hard to rebuild. So maybe this year's the last year Leicester can expect to finish top 10, but who knows. In 8th place, I've went for my team, Newcastle United. This might be a stretch, but I honestly think that we played some incredible football last year. Eddie Howe brought in this transitional, counter-attacking style of football where we actually counter-attacked and we were actually winning games. In fact, I think I saw a stat somewhere, if we had the form since Eddie Howe took over, Newcastle would have finished 3rd in the Premier League. Now, I'm not saying Newcastle are going to finish top 4 this year, far from it, but the transfers have been very sensible. Nick Pope, cementing his place in goal. A huge improvement over Dubravka, in my opinion. Ben Botman coming in, centre-back as well, adding reinforcements where we truly need them. Ideally, we'll get another striker in, but that doesn't matter. If Callum Wilson stays fit, I'm expecting him to score 20 goals this year. You heard it here first. In fact, he might even be a Golden Boot winner. Maybe that's a stretch. Who knows? Anyways, Newcastle, 8th place. In 7th place, I've went for West Ham United. Getting that Conference League spot, getting into European football again. I think West Ham will be very happy with that. Declan Rice as captain is a genius move by David Moyes. True passion, determination, loyalty in the core of the team can only inspire the squad further. Add in Football Manager legend Scamata, and, well, West Ham, they might have a season to remember. A successful season, maybe even a good run in the Cups. Who knows? But for me, West Ham, 7th place. Top 6, and in 6th place, and that brings us to the top 6, and you've guessed it, Man United are going 6. I think Man United are 1 or 2 seasons away from dropping out of the Big 6, and it's going to become the Big 5 instead. However, this year, pivotal year. Ten Hag has a huge opportunity to put a stamp on Man United. They've brought in Martinez, who's 5'3" or something, but that doesn't matter because on the ball, the man is magic. He's going to be bringing the ball out from the back a lot more composed than Harry Maguire is, and he's going to be able to feed the ball into midfield. But that's where the problem lies. Fred, McTominay, they're not going to dictate any games in the Premier League, if we're being honest. So United, I think they're going to struggle. But they've got Ronaldo, so they're always going to get 20 goals a season. Yes, the man might be leaving and he might be 39 or however old he is, but he still scores goals, and he will do forever. So as long as they have him, they're going to be in top 6, because Ronaldo wins games, even though United try and lose. In 5th place, I'm going for a rather surprising shout here. I'm going to go for Chelsea, finishing in 5th. And my logic behind it is that they don't have a striker. Yes, Kai Havertz does all right, and they've signed Raheem Sterling, who scores goals all season long. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Defensively, they're rather sound. But if you look at pre-season, and I know it's pre-season, they've been dreadful. They've been conceding 2-3 goals a game. Even though they've signed Koulibaly to play centre-half, I still don't think it's enough. They have Mason Mount in midfield, who still needs to take that one step further to assert himself as one of the Premier League's best. Kante isn't getting any younger. Jorginho, a fantastic footballer, but I just think they're missing some spark in midfield. Add in the fact, like I said, they don't have a striker. The Lukaku experiment fell flat on its bum. But Havertz is good for 15 goals or so. So, I reckon Chelsea will be disappointed with 5th, but I hope they finish 5th, so I get it right. And that leaves the top 4. And in 4th place, I'm going to go for Tottenham Hotspur. My logic behind this is that Conte, he knows what he's doing. Tottenham had a decent defence once Conte took over last year, adding the goals from Kane and Son, and I truly believe Tottenham could be looking at 2nd place, but their midfield worries me a lot. Once you step out of that back 4 in midfield, they have nothing. Their central midfield is not strong enough to be competing with the elite of the elite. So for that reason, I think Tottenham are going to finish 4th. But who knows, Harry Kane could have a blinder, score 35 goals, and that might propel them higher. But for me, on paper, Tottenham, they're finishing 4th. In 3rd place, I'm going to go for Liverpool. Controversial call, probably, yes, but hear me out. I think going forwards, they are phenomenal. Salah, of course, scores goals all day long. Trent Alexander-Arnold, when he's bombing down the right, incredible, a true game changer. But they've lost Mr. Dependent. Sadio Mane used to always be the one who scored the most important goals, and now he's off. He's playing for Bayern Munich. But they do have Diaz, and of course they've signed Nunez too. So, with a little bit of adaptation, I think Liverpool could be pushing on for the championship. But this season, I think, is a season too soon. I think they're in a transitional year, very much like what Alex Ferguson used to do with United. He'd bring in 3 or 4 new players and push them forwards. And I think that's what Klopp's aiming to do this year. However, I think the 2 teams above them are going to do that a little bit better. And that brings me to my prediction for 2nd place. And as you can see, there is one very surprising team in there, and that is Arsenal. I really like this Arsenal side. I think Arteta, admittedly, has his flaws. Tactically, he's not as adept as what Guardiola is or Klopp is, but I think the squad that Arsenal have built over the past few seasons is incredible. You have young talent everywhere you look. You've got experience in Kieran Tierney at the back. You've got Saka, who's played for England in European finals, and he's only, 20 years old or something? I truly believe this Arsenal team is going to be something special. This season, it might not be special enough to win the league. However, 2nd place for Arsenal, I think they take that right now. An amazing signing in Gabriel Jesus as well. He's another outlier there for Golden Boot for the season. I'm expecting 15-20 goals from the man because, of course, with City, he wasn't the main striker. He played most games, but City plays so fluid. He was very rarely in the middle of the pitch. But for Arsenal, if you look at the pre-season games, he's that number 9. He's right in the mix and he's putting them chances away. And I expect that to continue. Arsenal, 2nd place. And that leaves champions then. That leaves 1st place to be Manchester City. I don't think that's a surprise for many people because their squad is phenomenal. Pep Guardiola knows what he's doing and he's won the league before. I expect him to do it again. They have world beaters in every position, but specifically, they've got Laporte here at the back there. beautiful centre-back, so composed, so calm, next to Diaz as well, who's another world beater. In front of them, they've got De Bruyne, who, well, as you know, is world-class. Possibly the greatest midfielder in the world right now. And then they've brought in Haaland. Of course, he's going to need time to adjust to Premier League, but with the amount of chances that City create, I think he's going to be bagging goals for fun. But I do think losing Sterling is a bit of a downgrade for City. Of course, they still have world-class wingers in Bernardo Silva and Mahrez, but Grealish, he's an odd one. £100 million and he's a 6 out of 10 player. He needs to take a step up. But with Haaland, I think they'll be okay. Man City, title winners, first place. There we go then. These are my predictions then. What do you think? I'm sure you think I'm completely wrong. You think your team should be winning the league or whatever. But let me know in the comments below. Which team have I got massively wrong? Or do you think I'm right? Surely none of you think that. Anyways, about that surprise I was talking to you about earlier on. I am running a fantasy football league this year. If you want to join it using the code on screen here, 9LAH0O. The winner of this league will get £20 in an Amazon gift card. So it's worth joining because it's free and you might win some money and you might even beat me. In fact, you probably will beat me. But hey, it's only a bit of fun. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like I said before, if you think I'm wrong, drop it in the comments below and let me know why. Anyways, I've been JJ, you've been awesome. Take it easy and hopefully I'll see you next time.